Lesson 51.
The 51st lesson.
Lekcja 51.
Space flights. Look, Uncle Andy, what a funny book. It's about the first men on the moon, and it's all wrong.
What's wrong with the book?
First of all, the men fly to the moon in a spacecraft that's like a ball, not like a rocket. And I know that real spacecrafts aren't like that. Then the book says there are people on the moon, or rather peculiar creatures, and that there are huge, strange flowers.
Let me have a look. Who has written the book? I see. It's The First Men in the Moon by Wells. No wonder his picture is fantastic. Do you know when the book was written?
I don't know. Perhaps before the war.
In 1901. Is Wells wrong in everything? Hasn't he foreseen any of the things that have come true?
Well, his first picture of the surface is all right. It's very much like that the astronauts have transmitted. And then the two men in the book discover that they don't weigh anything on their trip from the Earth to the moon. There's no gravitation in their spacecraft.
Rick, your neighbour Bob has come to show you his toy space helmet. Take him into the garden and play there.
Rick runs out of the room.
We've been talking about space flights. You know, I think it's all amazing, fantastic, but sometimes I think it costs too much. Are the results worth those astronomical sums spent on research in space? As you say, it's research, and in all matters of science we can't foresee all the results. After all, through these spacecrafts, satellites and the like, scientists have already learnt a lot, not only about the moon and stars, but also about the atmosphere round the Earth. Satellites are used in communication, in television. Yes, I'd forgotten all about that. And remember that there are many weather satellites which give us advance warning about hurricanes coming from the oceans. They save both life and money. But must people risk their lives? Can't we send only Sputniks, satellites, space probes and rockets without passengers? Well, I think that man is always cleverer than a computer produced by himself. An intelligent person can solve quite new problems. A machine can't. Astronauts and scientists have made a great many discoveries in technology, medicine, physics. But think of risking your life. Did the first airmen in the first aeroplanes think of the risk? And yet I'm sure you think that travelling by plane is a normal, natural thing. There's some truth in what you say.
Suddenly they hear the boys shouting and crying in the garden. Steve runs out to see what has happened. He soon comes back.
Just a collision of two rockets. Rick's spacecraft has collided with Bob's. They were orbiting too close to each other, and their trajectories crossed near the garden gate. I hope nobody's hurt. Not really. Only a few bruises. The astronauts have made a hurried landing. Mum will see to their bruises and comfort them with ice cream.